right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Dirt, Grit, and Stupid Shit, the adventures of real estate. And guess what? I've got a special guest back here on the podcast. His name is Darren James. And Darren, tell the people how long you've been in the business.
21, going on 22 years now.
Oh, wow. So you're young, like me.
Absolutely.
That's right. Don't. Yeah, people ask me how long I've been doing it, and it's like, longer than Jesus, longer than Jesus. But listen, so what we talk about here is just pretty simple stuff. And a lot of people, they know that we sell, and they know people buy, and then they know we get paid. But they don't know what really happens in between. Maybe before, sometimes during, and definitely after, right?
Right.
You got any stupid shit you've been through maybe in your 21 plus
Oh my gosh. Could we write a book, right? That's the joke.
Oh Lord. Well, you could write a book. Probably could sell it on Amazon.
Absolutely.
Too.
No doubt. And we could all get together and write a book. It would be great. Compilation of stories. Real life, real realtor.
Oh, that's a go. Uh-oh. I can see it in the making. Real life, real realtor.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing. Well, tell us something that you've probably been through. I know you've been through
one of the
something.
crazy stories, right? So my dad works with me. I'm very blessed to be able to work with my dad.
Mm-hmm. Love Pop. I love him.
Absolutely.
Love Pop.
We went to a house in Ascension Parish, which is the neighboring parish to Livingston, about 20 minutes from where we're at right now. Mm-hmm. Long end of the story short, the husband and wife were going through a divorce. They were divorced, actually. And the husband lived in Jacksonville, Florida, and had 3 houses here. One of the ones in Ascension Parish he wanted me to sell. Mm-hmm. And so, long end of the story short, he calls me up one Saturday. He says, let's meet at the house, take a look at it, and preview it. We walk in the house. It's a 2-story house, and there's 23 cats.
23?
23 cats at the top balcony. Now picture this, okay?
Okay. All right.
You walk into a house, 2-story house. There's a balcony up top, all windows overlooking the bottom floor, and 20-something cats perched up in the window, all going meow, 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 trying to get through this. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So walking in the house, I mean, this is a really nice house from the outside, right? Mm-hmm. So I wasn't expecting, number one, to see 20-something cats in the house. We walk upstairs, open the door, and the urine smell just hits me. And I basically, it took my breath away.
Right, it will. My breath away. People don't realize a cat is different than a dog.
Absolutely. And the wife, so get this, the wife was walking into the house because, like I said, the husband lived out of state. Mm-hmm. So she would walk there and bring a big bucket of food upstairs and just open the door, throw the food onto the floor. The cats were coming in and out of the house through a window upstairs. Oh,
so it was just basically vacant and the cats
absolutely
maintained the house and they lived there and kept everything up.
Absolutely. Exactly right. So it was crazy. So my dad goes there and we go to put this house on the market. Of course, we got to get rid of the cats and all this kind of stuff. So my dad goes there and he's like, this is like not inhumane for cats, right? Not taking care of them. So he lets the cats out of the house.
Oh, shit.
They're not his cats, right? So my mom, we lost my mom in 2015, but this is before she passed away. So my mom and my dad, picture this, running around. My dad's in his 70s, my mom's in her 70s, running around there trying to round up these cats, right? And so they called all the cats back to put them back into the house because they wouldn't our cats to let out. And so long and the story short, we had to make a report with the SPCA or whoever that was because inhumane is a cat, and so they were able to place them, and it turned out we ultimately sold the house. And
did you have to do a lot of things to the house?
Absolutely,
like change sheetrock, maybe spray some studs. I don't know.
It was a lot of renovation before it got sold, but the guy who bought the home actually did the renovation on it. It took him 5 years before he moved in it. Absolutely.
Oh wow, yeah, because earlier in season 1, this is season 2 of Dirt, Grit, and Stupid Shit. Yeah. I talked about a cat house, and I had a house in Livingston Parish where we're sitting at today, where they just couldn't. Your system gets immune to it.
Oh yeah.
And you can't really smell, but I could smell it coming up the driveway. Yeah. It was bad. It cut I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, literally when I walked up the stairs, I had to put my head into my shirt because I couldn't breathe. It was that bad. The ammonia. It was terrible.
Yeah. And then why did this ever happen was when I was under contract, the inspector got sick, the agent and I'm talking, when I say sick, they went to the hospital. Now I had my disclosures on there. Enter this house at your own risk.
Yeah, that's right. I had another story talking about crazy things that happen, right? Had another one that I sold when I didn't sell it, but I showed it. And I was working at a former company when I first got started, Coldwell Banker, right? And so when I was with Coldwell Banker, the seller of the property kept declining the showings. Now, I wasn't the listing agent. I was the buyer's agent, right? Declined every showing. Declined. Wouldn't let anybody into the house.
What was?
Well, that was funny, right? So my client that I was showing, he said, look, I really want to see this home. I got to see this house. He says, it's perfect location. I just want to be there. And so long end of the story short, or short end of the story long, depending on how you look at it, right?
Right.
So we go in there, and I talk to the listing agent. I sit by her. I go into the office. I sit by the listing agent. And I say, look, can you call your client? Just let me talk to her, explain our story. And so she calls her with me sitting there. I said, look, ma'am, I said, we'll be very quick, 5 minutes in your house. We'll call you before we come. We'll be in there real quick. So we go through the house, go inside, go upstairs.
Another 2-story house. Okay.
Yeah. And there's incense burning in the home.
Oh.
And so we walk into this house, and they're growing marijuana in the home. Not only that, when it was one of those houses where you got a bedroom, and then you got to walk through Jack and Jill bathroom, and then you go into another bedroom. When you walk through that bathroom, there is urine and feces all over the floor. Marijuana in this room. You walk through, you're basically wading through feces. It was horrible, horrible. The things we see when we show these properties, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and then you got, because that happened, because Dawn Brown's been on this podcast too.
I like Dawn, she's awesome.
4 times, she's crazy.
Yeah.
And so we both have a client that I gave her. And because when I went with her, he kind of asked, we went upstairs. Here it is, another 2-story house. Must be something about 2-story. Must be. Here we are upstairs, and I opened the door to the closet. I'll be damned. Single marijuana plant just growing. I took a picture. She got a text last week. Hey, you remember me? Because she put it in Realtor Realtor. You remember me? I want you to come list my house. I got rid of the marijuana plant, I promise. I'm thinking to myself, we could show it with that in there, but might get in trouble.
Absolutely.
Especially, nowadays. I don't know. Some people might roll it and smoke it. Some people might just call it a popo. I don't freaking know what they might do. But yeah, in our business, oh my God, we see so much crazy shit.
Absolutely.
People just don't believe it. Any other crazy shit you've been through? I mean, and it can be good shit.
Oh,
it don't have to be bad shit.
Oh my gosh, it's let me just think back. As far as had one thing one time that we did. Wasn't necessarily a client or anything. There was a fire back in several years ago in Watson, Louisiana, which is about 10 minutes from here, north in Livingston Parish. We did something called Bring Back Christmas, Santa's Little Helpers.
Oh, cool! Yeah, because here it is holiday time.
Right, holiday time, right? So they had a fire up in one of the storage buildings up in Watson, Louisiana, and we were able to buy back Christmas and give back to the community for that. So that's one of the good things that happened. And there's a lot of rewards in our business. It's not just about buying or selling or helping somebody get to the next step in life. There's so many rewards that comes along with that. As far as first time home buyer looking to buy their first house, didn't think it was possible to be able to do so. That's just so rewarding to be able to help that sellers looking to go their separate ways for a divorce or whatever reason, to help them get to that next step in life. So there's just tons of stories that we can tell about the times. I had a lady that called me up last year. She was renting. She'd been renting for 18 years, single mom.
So she never owned a piece of America?
Never.
Oh, wow.
And so she was renting. She didn't know how to buy a house. So she called me up last year, and she was paying like $786 a month in rent or whatever it was. And she's like, Darren, I'd love to be able to help, to buy my first house for me and my daughter. And so we were able to get her into a home. We got her payment right under $700, $689 a month.
Oh, wow.
Saving her money.
Last year?
Last year, yeah. Interest rates were so low, right?
Right.
And so that made a big difference. And so she was able to get into that house and just was able to, and now she owns a piece of America, as you said. It's just unbelievable the rewards that we get as a result of doing this. And, it's kind of like Michael Jordan, right? Everything, you don't do things for the money. You do things for helping people get to their next step in life. And that's the key in the whole process. Michael Jordan he got into basketball for the love of the game, and everything else came as a result of that. And that's kind of like in real estate. You get into it for the love of helping other people get to their next step in life. And so it's just a very, very, very rewarding career, and has been for over 20 years for me. So
right. Well, you got to love what you do.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And as I learned from you, because you have been a mentor of mine, and I've worked for you, and you were just a great person.
Yeah.
And as I learned, they can know who you are, but they need to know what you do.
That's right.
And so that's really helped me in this community here.
Yeah.
And then I think the giving back, like you were talking about, that's just one thing I've always done. Here's the shirt off my back.
Yeah.
Let's roll with it. So you do get a lot of good rewards, and then people just don't realize some of the crazy shit we go through.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's funny talking about knowing who you are, knowing what you do, right? That is the truth, because I was I was the first person in the area. I got my first wrapped vehicle in 2002.
Yep.
Right. And so
right around with your face on the car. That's right.
And so everybody looked at me, and what I heard back then was, man, Darren really loves himself. Darren's conceited.
That's right. Conceited.
And it's not that. It wasn't that at all. It was that, I wanted to put my face out there to where if someone needed my services, they needed to know who to call or an option to call, right?
Right.
And so that's why I did that. And so now is the only time that I don't ride with vehicles, but it's coming soon in January.
Crazy. That's who I learned it from. Was to me, I saw what you did when you wrapped your vehicle. To me, you were a rolling billboard.
That's right.
Because, if you take a billboard out on a certain intersection, you got to see how many clicks and views. But really, how many people are like driving and looking up and going up, unless they're looking for a casino,
Right.
free slots here. But anyway, but they're always eye level, looking in front of you, hitting the brakes.
That's right.
And a lot of times, people ask me, well, Sondra, don't you ever have road rage? Yeah, I've done that before. I ran somebody's ass off the road. You know why? My number's on the back. Give me a call. But they never call you.
That's right.
They never call you. So that's why they're like, well, I'm not wrapping my vehicle, putting my number on my vehicle, because if I get a little road rage, they gonna get mad at me.
Or going through a school zone too fast, right?
Right. I mean, shit happens.
It happens, right?
I mean, right?
That's right.
I don't care.
That's right. It's funny. In anything you do, you got to be first. You got to be different.
Right.
And that's the key. That's the key. How do you be first, and how do you be different?
Well, bad news travels more than good news.
No doubt.
And bad things happen. No one ever forgets.
That's right.
I don't get that. And one thing I have discovered, because I always said, and I did, and I let everybody know him. I always said, I want to be like Darren. I'm going to be like Darren. Everybody going to know who the hell I am. And that's happened. People know who I am, but I work from a servant's heart. Yeah. And I know that's what you do, because, like I said, we worked together for years. Yeah. And I see it, right? And so if people would learn to love what they do, then they will succeed more. They call you the digital mayor of the community, right, which is what they do. And we, talking about giving back and being a community, we have a sponsor of my podcast here. It's Casa over there in Watson. You know that place?
Love for him. He's awesome.
I know. Well,
the food's good.
What you think's on Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday.
That's right, Taco Tuesday. They got $2 tacos and $18 pitchers of margaritas. And guess what they got on Wednesday?
What's that?
Half price margaritas.
Look out. That's fantastic.
That's where we got to go.
They need to do Tequila Tuesdays.
Oh, Fahim, you heard that? Oh, that's right, y'all. But yeah, listen, I love Casa. They're down there on Highway 16, located down in Watson, and just love that place. And he's a community give back too.
Yep,
he gives back from his
communities.
heart.
Yep,
I mean,
absolutely.
he's just a great guy. That's for sure. So you mentioned something about Pops earlier. I love me some Pops.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm sure he's run across some crazy shit too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yep. It's amazing that I'm an only child, and if I could be just half the dad to my kids that my dad's been to me. I don't know how I got so lucky in life to have a dad like him in my life. I'd done something unbelievably right somewhere along the line, but to have a dad like that, to be able to, there's nobody else in my world. I don't have any brothers or sisters. My mom's passed away. So really, when you think back to time, like I can, and I try to treat my dad to lunch every single day. I try to treat him to lunch, like we're going to lunch today. Matter of fact.
Oh Lord.
He went yesterday to Casa.
Oh, he did.
He did.
Okay.
He loves that big mound of nachos that they have. It's just amazing. But I try to treat him every day to lunch. And so, that's one of the things that we do at lunch. He has me cracking up because we talk back, and I'll say, "Hey, Dad, you remember when I used to race bicycles and I did this?" Or remember back to my childhood. There's nobody else in my life that I have that can relate back to those memories of back. Because my mom's not here and no brothers or sisters, so it's just me and my pop. So I'm very, very blessed to be able to work with him every single day that I'm able to work with him.
And he's just a hoot.
He's unbelievable, man. He's always on time. He's never late. It's always right. And he goes by the motto: late to bed, early to rise, work like no other, and advertise. And that's his motto. But he is never, ever, ever late. It's unbelievable.
And you just said that. And this past Saturday night, we had our little annual Christmas party I have at my house, and Fahim and Mary Claire were there, and Fahim had told me that. He says, in order to be successful, because I listened to his story on where he come from, in order to be successful, you got to rise early and go to bed. Rise early and go to bed. Or he says go to bed early. Yeah. He doesn't stay up late. So, in order to be successful, also you got to keep the same. You got to be consistent.
Consistent.
And that's why these agents don't really last in this business.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everybody thinks you can get in this business and make a bunch of money like in 30 days.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No. It don't work like that.
And that's funny that you say that, because consistency and persistency is the key to success in everything you do in life. A lot of people quit well before, quit too soon, right? They don't follow through, and that's the whole key. The fortune is in the follow-up in our business, and you have to be consistent and you have to be persistent in your message. You go and you do a mail out, right? I mailed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I followed up with them for 6 months, and nobody ever called me. That mail out didn't work. But what a lot of people don't understand is that it takes 9 to 13 times to mail out something to somebody before that message resonates with them. Same thing with the wrapped vehicles, right? My first year in business, it cost me in 2002 when I got my first minivan wrap that my dad donated to me, right? And so
pops.
That's right, minivan. And so I wrapped that vehicle in my first time in business. It was a big investment. It was $3,000 to wrap the vehicle.
Yeah, they're not cheap, right?
But it made me like $500 that year. Trackable advertising, and then it's since grown since then. And so, right now for the last 2 years, I have not been driving a wrapped vehicle. And it's funny because you think back to my police days when I worked in law enforcement. The joke was, Darren, you never can get away from a marked vehicle. That was the joke, because everything I had was marked, right? Everything was marked. And so, it's coming. It's coming. I'm getting my other vehicle wrapped in January, so it's coming.
It's coming, huh?
Yep, coming soon.
Yeah, I learned that from you and started doing the wrap thing on the vehicle, and I'm just, I'm not going to ever stop. Here's what I always tell people. I guess you know what I'm selling. It's not drugs either. I'll be busted, right?
That's right. That's right.
That's what Cindy's over there laughing her ass off. I'm telling you.
So tell me some of the stories you've been carrying.
Oh my God! Besides that cat, I called that the cat house.
Yeah.
And I actually advertised it with a hazmat suit. I think you missed that part.
I did.
It was right after it flooded, but it didn't flood. That's not. You got some. I said it on the other podcast. You got some houses that flooded, and you got some houses that should have flooded.
Yeah,
that was one of them.
I get it.
That was one of them.
It's funny that you say that, talking about advertising and cats and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking back. Years ago, I went to a house, and you know how we always try to find marketing angles when we go to market houses, whether it's on a lake or whether has great curb appeal or a gated community or whatever. So this cat had this house had this unbelievable the biggest cat I've ever seen, Persian cat. It was a big white cat. It was huge. It must have been 30 pounds.
Oh, Lord.
Biggest cat I've ever seen, right? So I said, look, I really want to market this cat as opposed to the house, right? So that's what I did. So I had the photographer go out there, take a picture of the cat. We put the cat on the billboard. We said, cat for sale, $250,000, home included.
Oh my God.
And
That's great.
And so we put that on a billboard. And so we drove them to www.agent225.com/cat is what we drove them to, the site. And we had tons and tons. We had media talking about it on the radio.
Wow.
We were just,
That's smart.
It was unbelievable.
Thinking outside the box.
Outside the box.
That's what you got to do.
Thinking outside the cat house, right?
Outside the litter box, yeah.
Outside the litter box.
Yeah, that's right. But so I'm licensed now in Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's been interesting.
I bet so.
It has. You can get a really nice place with a bunch of acreage for really cheap.
Mm-hmm. You sure can.
Mm-hmm. And I just put a condo on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Late Friday night. I think I finished it up about midnight. And so it's been on the market this weekend. And I don't always run to Mississippi. I have collaboration with other agents, and we just do everything together.
Yeah.
So I let her write it because she's with me. It's her first listing. I put her on it, and she's like, "How you write a listing?" I said, "I just want you to think outside the box." She did, and she put it's in bold. It's on Zillow. It hit the market. It says free sunsets with the purchase of this property.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Which was, I didn't think about that, you know. I said no, and then everybody in my family said, you can't control her. Don't be doing that. Let her put it in there. And it's crazy. It's work. The clients like it. So when you think outside the box, I never thought about a 30-pound cat, and then we should just, cat for sale.
That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
It's ways to spin the thought, and it's basically a paradigm shift of the way most people think, hey, that's a great 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. It's just a way to shift the thinking of the marketing.
And that's what I'm doing now. People don't want to see 3-2 up for sale.
Right.
Half bath, new roof. They don't want to see all that now. Like Fahim had bought a house for me, and they closed while I was in San Antonio at my conference. And I have this sign that I had made for this year for my clients, and it says, "Sondra, help me buy a piece of America. I own a piece of America. Thank you, Sondra." Yeah. And so with all that being said, it's good. I'm trying to go into storytelling now with people. This client really went through some shit.
Yeah.
A divorce. You have no earthly idea. Or, just kind of explain maybe the story. Are you seeing people do that a little bit more, or are they still kind of plain Jane 3-2?
Well, the thing is, it's not about you. It's about helping. If you help enough people get what they want, they'll in turn help you get what you want. That's Zig Ziglar, right? And so it's all about helping people get to their next step in life and what they have to go through to get there. And so you tell that story. It's not about you, the agent. Yeah, you're the facilitator of that a lot of times, and you help them hold their hands through the process. But, everybody has a story. Everybody has a reason for doing things. Everybody has a different destination in where they're going in life. And our job is to help them get there and to make that as easy as possible. So, storytelling is huge in today's world. That's why podcast works so well. Okay, so you're right. I mean, storytelling is where it's at. People really want to know. I think everything has changed. Let me ask you something. When we had the pandemic happen here across the country in 2020, how was business for you? It kind of stopped. Really? It paused, a little while during that time period. A lot of people didn't know what was going on. So one of the things that we did, everybody was scared of people entering their houses, right? All that type of stuff, and take precautions, et cetera. So I actually teamed up with a company in Charleston, South Carolina, and they were able to allow me to, because a lot of the challenge of me being a primary listing agent, I have a team of buyers agents. It was hard for me to go. Listings want to hit the market. They like, Darren, send out the photographer. They don't want the photographer to enter their house, right? So how do we fix that? So what I did was I teamed up with a company out of Charleston, South Carolina, and they were able to create me a link. And let's pretend that you're the seller, right? I send that link over to you. When you click that link, it opens up your iPhone camera or your smartphone camera. It starts a video. And now you as a seller are able to walk through the house, film the house, and then when you hit stop on your camera, it automatically uploads that to a single property website made directly for your home. So now the sellers are involved. They're actively recording their homes. Now, granted, it's not professional like we do, but in the time, I sold 6 homes as a result of those videos, And I'm able
that's
to
good.
I'm able to take those links, and people say, well, hey, I'm calling about your listing at 1234 Smith Street.
Right.
I send that link directly over to them. They have all the information from the seller coming down. Hey, here's my cabinets. I love my cabinets. I love my island, or whatever they're saying in the video. And no one ever had to enter the home. And then when the restrictions lifted a little bit, we're able to go in there and get the professional photography and stuff. But it stopped a little while, but we found ways to work around it, and business picked back up again. And it just last year and the year before, a little bit before that, was absolutely crazy. As far as the real estate market goes.
Last year was crazy.
Crazy. I don't know if I could have worked many more hours than I did last year. It was absolutely crazy.
It was nuts. And then now, today, as we're sitting here, a lot of agents find it tough.
Yeah, interest rates.
And including myself sometimes. Yep. I've been in this business 24 years, and it's like, what do you go back to the basics.
Basics. You got to get back to the fundamentals.
Yep. And you've got to put in the grind and the time.
That's right.
And I don't think we're anything like 2008. I don't think Louisiana saw that.
Yeah. A
lot of people ask that. I mean, that's more of a Californian kind of thing. And now, I think today, it's not like 2008 because people have equity in their home.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, Louisiana generally is the last one in, first one out of any situation. And so that's the difference. We had something called Hurricane Katrina that hit in New Orleans. It caused a lot of our numbers. So I was the president of the Board of Realtors here in Livingston in 2009. And so after Katrina, the market crash and all that, we still were the market, whenever Katrina hit, it pushed our market up 23% here. And so we were still getting back to an adjusted market as far as that goes. Even when the market crashed in 2008, we really didn't see that big of a crash hit. A hit here. We did see some, but we didn't see California. People were buying houses $3 million, turning around selling them for $900,000.
Right.
I mean, that's a huge difference.
Right.
Yeah, but right now, interest rates are. They rose. It caused a little bit of a slowdown in the market. Supply and demand regulates everything. And so, I was reading funny. That we talking about this. I was reading an article about 3 weeks ago about why the Fed raised interest rates.
Why did they?
The article made mention to the supply chain. We've heard about the supply chain with cars, chips not being put together, garage doors not being able to get back.
Okay.
And so some of the things that they did, they slowed down because as real estate, as you go into any market, real estate basically affects everything within that market. People start using those supermarkets, those barbershops, those everything, right? And so you couldn't get garage doors, you couldn't get windows for a time. Lumber was through the roof, and so that was because of the supply chain. So they raised their interest rates to affect really new construction. And to get those, this is what the article said. And so, reflecting back, once everything came back, they could start getting doors, they can start getting windows, they can start getting these supplies. They lowered interest rates. So now I heard as of this past Friday, they dropped down to like 5%, is what I'd heard. I hadn't seen that, written, but that's what I heard. But
I hadn't seen it either.
Hadn't looked at it yet today. But I understand they're supposed to be even going back to possibly the 4s or the 5s if they haven't gotten there beginning in January. So we got great projections coming forth for 2023, and I think the market is going to do very, very well in 2023.
I think it will too. A lot of people think it won't. Look, I just pulled that up while you were talking about that. A 30-year fix is 6.17 right now.
Yep.
A 15-year fix is 5.48. So the interest rates are coming down, and this is what I mean. Darren, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're smarter than me.
Not necessarily.
Look,
that's subjective.
Isn't it a great time to buy today? Because the prices are lower, the seller's assisting in buyers' closing costs, and then that's a win-win for the buyer altogether.
Right.
Well, I just put one on the contract yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. And so if they refi after the first quarter, is what I'm hearing, of the Fed rates to go down, then they might drop a point.
Yeah, very well.
And then they saved another $600-700 in their note.
That's right.
It's a win-win today with a win after the first quarter.
That's correct. That's the way I understand it as well. Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't drunk or not. When I heard that shit, I'm like, it's got to be right. It's got to be right because I see it trending.
Right, and that's what we're all seeing. All the projections are indicating a favorable 2023 for the real estate market and for the consumers.
But we we need that. I don't think we need to see something like we did a year ago.
No, not at all. No, we don't want it to get, I don't think, in my lifetime, I don't think I'll ever get rates to back into 2s or 3s again. I don't think I'll see it again.
No, but I got friends in Texas. I'm sure you do too. They would put their house on the market for like, $400,000 and get an offer for $800,000 cash.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane.
And that was happening so much. I mean, they were getting. I couldn't even fathom this. I couldn't get my head wrapped around it. I was talking to some listing agents over there. They were getting 50 to 90 offers a home.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so people don't understand when they were overpaying for these homes, and it happened in Texas, North Carolina, Florida. That's the 3 states off the top of my head. When they go to reassess those properties, which it happened, my friend has a condo in Florida, and I won't say who it is, of course, but, he reached out and said, Sondra, my tax bill was $5,600. Now it's $26,000. What do I do now?
Yeah.
You screwed.
Yeah, it's crazy how that.
They don't think outside the box. They think
right.
about the now.
That's
we're back
exactly
to the now.
That's right. Absolutely.
Again.
That's right.
We're back to the now. Hey, so what are you doing New Year's Eve?
I am going to, that's subjective as well. I may be going down to Tampa, Florida. I got some stuff going on over there, so I may be going down that way. And I'm building an expansion team. Talking about Texas, I'm building an expansion team into Texas as well right now. So we're going out to Texas too. I got a bunch of agents coming on board over there. So it's been a crazy last. My son's at University of Houston.
Oh,
so
yeah?
he's
That's where
going there.
Jason's at?
Yeah, Jason's at University of Houston. So we have been traveling back and forth, doing basically 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks
Lord.
there. So it was a lot of traveling back and forth. But of course, it's also building an expansion team into Texas as well. But we're back here, and Jace is looking to transfer to LSU. So go Tigers, right?
That's right. Well, good. He really wants to come to LSU?
Yeah, he wants to go to LSU. He's going to get into real estate just like me. I told him not to. I said, man,
oh, Lord.
it's a challenging career, but it's
oh, wow.
He's going to do well at it. So.
Well, I have another sponsor of this podcast, and it's called Southern Rhythm Venue and Entertainment. They're down here on 16 also, in down there past Watson. And they take a lot of pride in providing the best entertainment, which they do. Production in this area is clean and is smoke-free. Yeah. You ever been there?
Never been there, no.
Oh, my God.
Does Tony Gyro own that now? Or
no, Steve McDaniel does.
Oh, Steve. I like Steve.
Yeah, Steve
Good
McDaniel does. And so they have a lot of amenities in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Even in the men's room and definitely in the women's room. I think there's everything there from a curling iron to you name it.
Oh, that's cool.
But you can smoke out back. They've got great security. I mean, it's just a friendly place.
Yeah.
So for New Year's Eve, they got 2 bands that are going to play. And they're going to have a balloon drop and much, much more.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It will be fun.
If I'm in town, I might go to that.
Well, you just said you were going to be somewhere else. But Southern Rhythm Venue and Entertainment down here on the 16 is where y'all want to go to enjoy 2 bands. And you'll enjoy everything down. It's just super clean. I love that place. I feel safe.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say that now.
Awesome.
Said that before. So, Darren, I really want to thank you for coming on this podcast. And
thank you for having me.
Helping me out and talking some shit with me.
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully, we provided value for the consumers and for your listeners. And I just really enjoyed being here. So it's great.
All right, good. Well, will you join me back on another one?
I will. Absolutely.
All right. Sure. Well, then.
Love that.
Let's come back for part 2.
All right. Part 2.
All right. Thank you for dirt, grit, and stupid shit.